Welcome to Let's Buy a House, the podcast. I'm your host, Miriam Gilmore, and I am so excited that you decided to join us on this podcast journey. Here we'll talk all things about buying a house, but more importantly, how to get there. Your credit, down payment, how to save money, all the things. I want to be a resource for you. Here we go. Welcome to Let's Buy a House. I'm your host, Miriam Gilmore. Thanks for joining me. So it has been a little while since I join you guys on the podcast. So I have to, get that out of the way and say thank you for coming back to listen to this episode and joining me today. Well, this episode today, I think you're going to find it super interesting because what I'm going to bring to you today is that they have rolled out a new program with 0% down payment. Now, there's a caveat. There's a maximum of $15,000, but still, it's 0% down payment. So I think that is amazing. So because this is so new and I don't have all of the, I do have all of the details, but I want to make sure that the details that I provide to you are pretty exact and that I'm not saying the wrong thing. So because of that, I'm going to read this to you guys right off of the page, the guidelines. Okay. So give me 1 second. I'm going to pull it right up. All right. So I'm going to read it word for word. So the zero down payment purchase, UWM's, because this is with UWM, one of my preferred lenders. So UWM's exclusive zero down payment is a down payment assistance program that allows borrowers to receive a 3% loan up to $15,000 from UWM. Borrowers will have no required monthly payment on that second lien, and the second lien does not accrue interest. The second lien is due in full as a balloon payment upon refinance of the first lien, a payoff, or the final payment of the amortization of the first lien. So there are some strings attached, guys. So let's talk about this. So what this is telling you, so it is down payment assistance. Okay, they're going to give you up to $15,000 into down payment assistance, right? But there's no monthly payment and there's no interest accrued. So basically what happens is you're going to buy this, and the day you sell or the day you refinance, you have to pay those $15,000 back. Now, some people are going to be like, well, that's not really like a gift, and that's not really like money that they're giving me, and blah, 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 which I get it. But also you have to think that if you just don't have those $15,000, it's kind of helping you. And here's the other thing you want to think about is, they're going to give you $15,000 and you're buying with, you don't have the money, so you're going to be able to buy a property. Besides that, what's also going to happen is appreciation. So now just go back now and think about properties in the last 5 to 10 years. So let's pretend you bought this property and they did give you the $15,000. And let's say it was about 4 years ago and you bought, and today the appreciation, remember every year it's about, on average, 3 to 5% of appreciation. So how many people do you know that bought a few years back and they have, $100,000 in equity? Just like in a couple of years, because obviously in the last few years, what happened was crazy and the appreciation went through the roof. But that's kind of like what we're talking about here. So so even if you do end up, selling 5-6 years down the road, and now you have equity and you have, let's not say it's 100 because that's a lot, but let's say it's $50,000 or $60,000. And then once you sell, sorry, my phone rang. I don't know how to not do that. But you were able to put yourself in a position where you could buy. And that's a great position to be in, because now you besides obviously you're going to pay that back, but you had your home, you had appreciation, and now you can grab that money and either go buy something else or just stay there, not sell your property. You don't have to sell the property. But this is what happens if you do refinance. And then this is a big caveat for people who are buying now because interest rates are so high. One of the other things is that if interest rates go down, right, which eventually they will, we're hoping and expecting for them to go down. Once you do refinance, those $15,000 do have to be paid as well. So that's a little bit of a pull there, because if you're going from let's say you're at a 7% interest rate now, and you're going to refinance, let's say, to a 5.5 at some point because rates got better, well, that loan is going to come due and you're going to have to pay that off, which kind of sucks. But when we do the math, and you typically what I would do with a client is I would sit down and I would do the numbers and I would see over how many months is it going to, like how many months is it going to take for you to make up paying those $15,000 off plus closing costs, because you will have closing costs to pay for a refinance. So everything has a cost, guys. Nothing's free in this world. But it's a great way to get your foot in the door and buy something. I think it's a great program and it helps. Something is something, and although it's not 100% gift that you don't ever have to pay off, at some point it does become due and payable, which is either you sell or refinance. Then, you just have to, and here are the benefits, right, that they point out, and I'll just read them to you. One of them is allows you to help more borrowers to get in a home quicker without a down payment. Allows borrowers to use additional funds for home repairs and an emergency savings. These loans are either Home Possible or Home One with those guidelines. Let me see what else. And this program can help gain business. Oh, for me, I guess this is a little thing for me. It helps me get in with real estate agents, I guess. This is only for 30-year mortgages. It's for single family PUDs and condos, no manufactured homes. So if you're buying like a trailer, that's not going to work for this. So it can cover the lesser of 3% or $15,000. What else? I already told you about that it's a second mortgage. The FICO score. So for there's two different loan programs that you can do this to. One of them is a 620 and the other one's a 700. So yeah, if your credit score is any of those, you have those two different options. Let me see what else there is. That is about it. This is a good program, honestly. Is it perfect for everyone? No, but it's something. And these days, with everything we have going on in the world and with as expensive that everything is, you got to take what you can get. And this is something. I'm not really sure, honestly, if this works with, let me just double check if this works with, because, in Florida, they do have the Hometown Hero program. And that's something that I should have researched before I recorded this podcast. Let me just scroll down and see if by chance it's on here. I don't see it. It's not on here. It's not on here, but I will find out. And if you have questions about that, you could always message me or email me, and I am typically pretty quick to respond. I wish I had that information for you, but I don't. I didn't do my homework. I didn't think about that, honestly. But that's something that I do think is a very interesting thing. So yeah, guys, so this is the zero down payment program. It's awesome. And I'm really happy that they're doing this, because honestly, there's not a lot. Besides this, they had another program where they were giving certain borrowers, depending on the zip code where they lived, you can get $5,000. And this is, of course, in Florida. I don't know other states what they're doing. Well, no, the zero down payment, you could do this in other states. But in Florida, I'm licensed in Florida and I work in Florida. So yeah, with this program, it opens a lot of doors. There's a lot of possibilities. If you were somebody who was on the fence because you were short, you can use this program and you can have it help you bring money, because obviously you can bring additional funds to closing, or if you want, it'll help you towards your down payment. So if there's any questions, I am always here to help, and hopefully we can get you into a home with a 0% down payment. I hope you have a great day. Remember always to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, and Twitter, which I never tweet, but yes, I'm there too. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Let's Buy a House, the podcast. It's always my joy and honor to have you as a listener, and I would love nothing more that if you found value and you enjoyed this podcast, that you'll share it with your friends, maybe leave a review. It's always such a nice thing to hear from you guys. I'd love nothing more than to connect with you guys on other platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and my personal favorite, TikTok. I'll see you next time on Let's Buy a House, the podcast.